Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today at the Hyatt Regency Hotel, the host hotel for this year's Toronto International Film Festival. My name is Piers, Director and CEO of TIFF.
And I'm Cameron Bailey, co-director of the Toronto International Film Festival.
So last year, TIFF celebrated some pretty major, important milestones. Most significantly, it was our 35th anniversary as a film festival, and we opened our new year-round home, TIFF Lightbox. It's hard to believe that we already find ourselves celebrating the first anniversary of TIFF Lightbox, and what a year it's been. In that short time, we've welcomed over 600,000 people through our doors. They've enjoyed a wide variety of events and programming, numerous new releases, Canadian documentaries, foreign language, independent, exciting exhibitions, unique workshops for audiences of all ages, film retrospectives, and on-stage conversations with high-profile guests including Tim Burton, Isabella Rossellini, David Cronenberg, Douglas Trumbull, and many more. Now this year, TIFF Lightbox will be the heart of the festival. The building will be fully activated for the 11 days of the event, hosting public and press and industry screenings, red carpet premieres, and industry programming. This year, as audiences, filmmakers, press, and industry delegates from around the world come to visit, we will take tremendous pride in welcoming them to our new permanent home.
Today's announcement contains some very exciting news about some of the films coming to Toronto this fall. Our mandate is to screen the best cinema we can find from every part of the globe, and when the final announcements are made towards the end of August, you'll get a sense of how comprehensive this search has been. We're proud of our programming team for discovering fantastic films every year. Last year, a little film called The King's Speech from the UK and Australia had its world premiere at TIFF. It won the Cadillac's People's Choice Award. Of course, it went on to win many other honors, including the Academy Award for Best Picture. The Toronto audience saw and celebrated The King's Speech here first, proving once again to be some of the most informed and enthusiastic filmgoers in the world. The role of discovery is central to our mission, and no doubt there will be more stories like this in 2011.
So before we get into the film announcements, we would like to acknowledge the following organizations for their valued support. Our lead sponsor, Bell, our major sponsors, RBC and BlackBerry. Our major supporters, the Government of Ontario, Telefilm Canada, and the City of Toronto. In addition to 50 returning sponsors, and we certainly couldn't do what we do now without them, we are pleased to announce the participation of 18 new sponsors for this year's event. It is through their support that we are able to continue to provide festival goers with the kinds of unique experiences that are so exciting to all of us year after year.
The 36th Annual Toronto International Film Festival brings with it some exciting changes. We're thrilled to bring the festival to life this year in our dynamic permanent home. As Piers mentioned, we'll have lots of public and industry programming going on in the building. As well, TIFF Lightbox will be a one-stop shop for media with press conferences, press screenings, the press office, the Shangri-La Media Lounge, and screening library, all located under our roof. We announced a couple of months ago that we'll be adding a new screening venue to the festival. The Princess of Wales Theatre, steps away from TIFF Lightbox, will be used from September 9th to 12th. It will be outfitted, yes, you can applaud the Princess of Wales, it's a beautiful house. And it will be outfitted with a state-of-the-art projection and audio system for both film and digital cinema. It can accommodate 1,500 guests and will feature red carpet events. We're enormously thankful to David Mervish and the rest of his team for all their support and enthusiasm for this new venture. Thanks also to the Ministry of Tourism and Culture and the Ontario Arts Council for their support of this expansion. We also have a new festival box office located down the street from TIFF Lightbox in Metro Centre. It's just underneath David Pico's Square, and a number of new ticket packages to help audiences get the most out of the festival. Further to feedback we've received from our audience, we've increased the number of daytime public screenings this year as well. And I'm sure you've seen examples of the consumer marketing campaign around the room, "See it happen here," that's our new tagline, and it speaks to the idea that the festival is made up of moments of discovery. Discovering a new filmmaker, a film that's a real hidden gem, spotting a celebrity, meeting an old friend in line. You never know what you'll expect, but you certainly won't want to miss it. This is the first time in the festival's history that the marketing campaign was developed entirely in-house by TIFF's creative team. Special congratulations to that team.
This year also marks the 10th anniversary of the events of September 11th. Over the past few months, we have been discussing the most appropriate and respectful way to mark this important day in our festival calendar. So we've decided to commission something that is very true to us as an organization, a short film that we hope will honor the broader community touched by this event. And further details regarding this commission will be released closer to the festival.
Now, this is a very large festival, and to put it together, we have a team of 19 programmers whose knowledge and expertise is unsurpassed. They're all working very hard to ensure that our audiences see the very best films of the year. And now, on to what everyone's been waiting for, the films. Every year we're asked about the rationale for selecting a particular film to open the festival, and in each case the answer can be a little bit different. When we were looking at possible opening night selections this year, it became clear that an inspiring account of artists honing their craft is the perfect film to kick off our 11-day celebration of artists, stories, and voices from around the world. We're proud to announce that for the very first time in 36 years, the Toronto International Film Festival is opening with a documentary. Our opening night film is Davis Guggenheim's From the Sky Down, a documentary about world-renowned Irish rock band U2. This powerful marriage of music and film honors U2's talent, dedication, and music. Guggenheim's extraordinary access really speaks to the continued importance of the documentary form, and we look forward to sharing this film with audiences on our opening night.
So we'll have much more to announce in the coming weeks. However, today we are thrilled to announce that our world premiere galas will include Rodrigo Garcia's Albert Nobbs, starring Glenn Close and Mia Wasikowska, Jim Field Smith's Butter, starring Jennifer Garner and Ty Burrell, Remy Besançon's A Happy Event, starring Louise Bourgogne, Luc Besson's The Lady, starring Michelle Yeoh and David Toulis, Bennett Miller's Moneyball, starring Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill, Bruce Beresford's Peace, Love, and Misunderstanding, starring Jane Fonda and Catherine Keener, and Sarah Polley's Take This Waltz, starring Michelle Williams and Seth Rogen. And Sarah is here with us today. Welcome, Sarah.
Other galas making their North American premieres include David Cronenberg's A Dangerous Method, starring Viggo Mortensen and Keira Knightley, George Clooney's The Ides of March, starring George Clooney and Ryan Gosling, Madonna's W.E., starring Abby Cornish and Andrea Riseborough. In our special presentations program, we're pleased to announce the world premieres of Wang Xiaoshui's 11 Flowers, starring Li Wenqing and Wang Qinchun, Jonathan Levine's 50-50, starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Seth Rogen, Fernando Morea's 360, starring Jude Law and Anthony Hopkins, Mathieu Demy's Americano, starring Salma Hayek and Geraldine Chaplin, Roland Emmerich's Anonymous, starring Vanessa Redgrave and David Thewlis, Cedric Kahn's A Better Life, starring Guillaume Canet and Leila Bekti, Jonathan Teplitsky's Burning Man, starring Matthew Good and Rachel Griffiths, He Jong-ho's Countdown, starring Jun Do-yeon, and Terrence Davies' The Deep Blue Sea, starring Rachel Weisz and Tom Hiddleston.
Alexander Payne's The Descendants, starring George Clooney and Judy Greer, Malgorzata Shumovska's Elle, starring Juliette Binoche, Jennifer Westfeldt's Friends with Kids, starring Kristen Wiig and Megan Fox, Derek Martini's Hicks, starring Chloe Moretz and Blake Lively, Daniel Netheim's The Hunter, starring Willem Dafoe and Francis O'Connor, Jay Duplass and Mark Duplass's Jeff Who Lives at Home, starring Jason Segel and Susan Sarandon, Mark Forster's Machine Gun Preacher, starring Gerald Butler, Julian Farino's The Oranges, starring Leighton Meester and Adam Brody, Cameron Crowe's documentary, Pearl Jam 20, Oren Moverman's Rampart, starring Woody Harrelson and Steve Buscemi, Lassie Hallstrom's Salmon Fishing in the Yemen, starring Ewan McGregor and Emily Blunt, Jamie Linden's 10 Years, starring Kate Mara and Channing Tatum, Michael Winterbottom's Trishna, starring Riz Ahmed and Frida Pinto, Francis Ford Coppola's Twixt, starring Val Kilmer and Bruce Dern, and Pavel Pawlikowski's Woman in the Fifth, starring Ethan Hawke and Kristen Scott Thomas.
Other special presentations include Michelle Hazanavicius's The Artist, Marjan Satrapi and Vincent Parano's Chicken with Plums, Rafe Fiennes' Coriolanus, Todd Solondz's Dark Horse, Nicholas Winding Refn's Drive, Fred Skepsi's The Eye of the Storm, Nanni Moretti's Habemus Papam, Morton Tildum's Headhunters, William Friedkin's Killer Joe, and Drake Doremus's Like Crazy.
Sean Durkins, Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene, Lars von Trier's Melancholia, Steve McQueen's Shame, Anne Hui's A Simple Life, Pedro Almodovar's The Skin I Live In, Jeff Nichols' Take Shelter, Patty Constantine's Tyrannosaur, Lynn Ramsey's We Need to Talk About Kevin, and Nadine Labaki's Where Do We Go Now?
And that's not all. We'll have additional galas and special presentations in the coming weeks, as well as the rest of our programming.
As you can see, it's shaping up to be a really, really exciting festival, and we're very, very thankful to all the filmmakers, producers, and industry partners for bringing these films to Toronto. We'd like to particularly thank all the companies in the Canadian distribution sector for entrusting us with the launch of so many of their films. Just before we wrap up, we must thank our dedicated staff, our volunteers, and our board of directors, whose commitment, enthusiasm, expertise, and love of film are the foundation of our organization. So thank you all for coming this morning. We'd be pleased to take questions from members of the media.